Good day, students, and welcome to the third quarter of Music 9 class. For Music 9 class, we are going to study about Romantic period. This period started around 1830 and ended around 1900s. This period is described as a cultural movement that stressed emotion, imagination, individualism, and freedom of expression. Indeed, during this period, composers considered music the art form most capable of expressing the full range of human emotion. As a result, Romantic composers broadened the scope of emotional content. Music was expected to communicate to the audience, often by using a narrative form that told distinct stories. These characteristics are evident in music, art, and literature of the era. This era is an era of great turmoil due to the revolutions, wars, and historical events that sparked national pride which lead to unity amongst those under imperial rule. This is why nationalism had a profound effect on the music of the Romantic period and was also incorporated in the music. Frédéric Chopin's Polonaise is an example of composition that shows nationalism. It is a dance composition for piano and famous now in Poland. During this period, Ludwig van Beethoven bridged the music from classical to romantic era by expressing his passion and emotions through this music. Due to this, other composers were inspired to use music as a means of expressing their emotions and individuality. During this period, piano music is in free form, meaning to say the piece of music has not been created according to a standard style or convention. Examples of piano music which are in free form are fantasy, rhapsody, ballad, and nocturne. To sum this up, the music during this era portrays literature, history, emotions, and nature. Let's go now to the composers under the Romantic period. Under the Romantic period, the composers used different instruments. So under the violin and string music, we only have one. We only have Niccolo Paganini. Niccolo Paganini was called the devil's violinist. He was called this because it was said that Paganini's mother wanted him to become a famous violinist. And from this, a rumor later arose that she had made a deal with the devil, trading her son's soul for the chance to be the greatest in history. He started playing mandolin at the age of 5. Mandolin is a stringed musical instrument in the lute family. Since he was good at music, he transferred from mandolin to violin at the age of 7, with different violin professors in Italy. Actually, he kept on changing professors as they could not keep up on his skills. Due to this, he adjusted himself to his professors. He adopted all his teachers' influences in playing the violin. He became the famous violin virtuoso in the world. These are some of his works. We have La Campanella, 24 Caprices for Solo Violin Opera 1, Concerto No. 1 in E-B Opera 6, 15 Quartets for Guitar and Strings Trio, and the Carnival of Venice. Under the piano music, we have Frédéric Chopin. Frédéric Chopin is filled with innovation. He is famous for his expressive piano playing and the innovative works he composed. He was known as the poet of the piano. He began to play piano at the age of 4. He composed Polonaise at the age of 7. And most of his music was influenced by folk music. And this is evident in his compositions like mazurkas and Polonaise, which express his love for Poland. Here are some of his compositions. Fantasy in F minor, Opera 49, Revolutionary Etude, Opera 10, and number 12 and 24 Preludes, Opera 28. Some of his music is characterized by its beautiful tone, rhythmic flexibility, grace, and elegance. He is also famous for the following compositions. First is ballad. It is a verse form or narrative form that is set to music. Second, etude, a piece composed for the development of specific technique. Mazurka, a Polish dance in triple time signature. Nocturne, an instrumental composition of a pensive, dreamy mood for the piano. Polonaise, a slow Polish dance in triple time that consists of a march or procession. Prelude, a short piece of music that can be used as a preface, an introduction to another work, or may stand on its own. Waltz, a German dance in triple meter. Scherzo, a musical movement of playful character, typically in ABA form. And sonata, a composition for one or more solo instruments, usually consisting of 3 or 4 independent movements, varying in key, mood, and tempo. Still under the piano music, we have Franz Liszt. Franz Liszt was the greatest piano virtuoso of his time. He was the first to give complete solo recitals as a pianist. Aside from this, he was a composer. His father became his first teacher. Liszt heard and saw Niccolo Paganini perform. That is why he got inspired and dedicated himself in becoming a virtuoso pianist. He made piano transcriptions of operas and famous symphonies. Here are some of his compositions. La Campanella, Sonata in B minor, and arrangements of the 9 Beethoven symphonies. The last composer under piano music is Robert Schumann. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest composers of the Romantic era because he beautifully combined music and words. His father wanted him to study law, but eventually he convinced his family that he wanted to become a musician. However, he injured his finger, which led him to effectively end his dream as a pianist. Schumann has 2 pseudonyms, Eusebius for his sensitive and lyrical side, and Florestan for his fiery and stormy side. Here are some of his piano works. Abegg Variations, Carnaval, Kinderszenen, and Fantasie Stucki. Next is the program music. Program music is an instrumental composition that conveys images or scenes to tell a story without the text or lyrics. It entices the imagination of the listener. Opera and ballet use program music since they are intended to accompany vocal or stage performances. The first one under program music is Hector Berlioz. At his young age, he learned to play guitar and flute, but he never became skilled in a specific musical instrument. He was sent to medical school, but he pursued music. One of his famous compositions is the Symphonie Fantastique, or also known as the Fantastic Symphony. Tone color is the basic part of his musical language. tone color is the characteristic that allows us to distinguish the sound of one instrument from another, and this is present in his composition. That is why he assembled hundreds of musicians to produce this one. Under the program music, we also have Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky was known for his ballet music. He was a big fan of Mozart, and he became famous after composing the musical poem Fatum and Romeo and Juliet. Here are some of his musical compositions: Swan Lake, Romeo and Juliet, Sleeping Beauty, and The Nutcracker. Under the program music, we have Camille Saint-Saëns. He was known as a talented musician from an early age. His aunt helped him to learn piano when he was only 2 years old, and when he was 3, he began composing piano pieces. He was a composer who creates elegant music, neat, clean, polished, and never excessive. Some of his best-known music are Carnival of the Animals, Dance Macabre and his Symphony No. 3, and The Swan. And that ends our lesson in Romantic Period. Remember, students, that composers under Romantic Period considered music the art form most capable of expressing their feelings and emotion. Thank you and have a good day.